Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is the game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play-by-email match against Rob, AsuRob. This is my new play-by-email match. This is the still version 26B, but it's scenario 50, so we're playing the version 8.1. And this is the first turn, so December 7th. And we have here the Pearl Harbor strike, so this is my mid-sized submarines attacking the ships in port, and I get a 1 torpedo hit on California. And this must be a critical hit. It was a little too fast because I have fast speed for animation. You can see this, oh no, this is my own ship is heavily damaged. Oh yeah, okay. So the California get only a torpedo hit, maybe 10 to 20 damage, not more. So now is the second mini submarine attacking, and I get a critical hit with engine damage. So a second torpedo hit again on the California, and now California is on heavy damage. So heavy damage is normally if one part of the ship is at least 50 damage. So I think flooding 50 in this case. So at least 50 or more flooding damage on California. Good. That is fine. That was successful. 2 out of 5. That is a good ratio. But because this is a mod, so this is not so easily to compare with scenario 1. Japan is at the end better navy technology and a little better equipment, but less resources. But also the units are at least some units are at the other starting locations. And here is my rowboat getting a torpedo hit on a light cruiser. That is also a nice start. So heavily damaged on an American light cruiser. Good, good. And the rowboats, they don't normally have these smaller torpedoes. They are not so powerful. But you have always this calculation if it's a normal hit or it's a critical hit, roughly speaking. And this must be a crit. This time it's only attacking my submarine, but I can avoid. I'm here in deep water. Again, attack, but no hit on both sides. But I get another torpedo hit on the other. This is now a British light cruiser, but here torpedo hit. No heavy damage. Okay. But at least damage the Dragon. So at the end 4 submarines was successful. This is now Americans S-boats out. Here it's Luzon. These are my incoming invasion fleets. I can also not really hit deep water anything. Ooh, and a follow-up attack. So Marblehead is now still heavy damage, but maybe there's a sinking sound, I don't know. No. And here I am lucky, this is a Dutch submarine attacking one of my invasion cargo ships. We're here already at Quota Barreau, shallow water, so maybe with a little luck I can damage this submarine a little at least. Okay. And the Dragon get also the second torpedo hit. Oh, now Dragon is also heavily damaged and on fire. But still no sinking sound. So both light cruisers are heavily damaged, that for sure, but they can maybe still survive if they can reach a port to fix the fire. Sweeping Singapore, of course. So we have the house rules more or less that it's I think the same like I use with Xargun. The Allies can move every task force on the map and everything in China. And the rest is more or less only reaction to the Japanese. Good. So sweeping Singapore is an air battle. I shut down some buffaloes. It's okay. Also sweeping here other locations because sometimes you have here enemy cap, but not always. But yeah. So some Blenheims. These are twin engine or heavy fighters, you can call them. I think they are normally night fighters or multi-role fighters. So killing one of them, maybe two. A strong airstrike out of from Taiwan for Clarkfield Airport. Yeah. So there are some Warhawks, but I think they are no match for the escorts. Okay, I lose the one fighter. But at the end I strike here heavily the airfield. Mainly to simply don't allow him build up forts. And of course I can damage enemy aircraft on the ground. So maybe I lose here 1 or 2 aircraft. But I also can destroy some aircraft on the ground. But main purpose of this strike was destroy the airbase, make it sure that this airbase cannot be used more in the future. Not at least future means the coming 4 or 5 turns, let's say this. So other part of my aircraft going of course for Port Manila. This is always critical, maybe even more critical than Pearl Harbor, at least in the short run, because here are 22 submarines I think in port. If I can at least take out half of them, that would be nice. So I don't really must sink all the submarines, but if I can damage them and let them not more dive, that will help me in the future. Here I use my zeros for fighter bomber, because here is also enemy fighters on the ground, so I try to simply only damage them. Because this hex is not connected to rail, so a damaged aircraft cannot leave the hex, they must be repaired. So the flag will kill one of my aircraft, but I damage more or less the enemy airing on the ground. So for the next 3-4 turns, they are not easily to use. This is my Kiributai. Again, this is a mod, so the setup is a little different. Here are also submarines in Cebu. Cebu is a secondary port for the American submarine fleet, so I try to also damage them. Here I think half dozen submarines, so maybe I can kill them all in one strike. Good. Plus the submarine tender and APs. Good, that was successful. This is now also carrier strike for Manila port again. Throw a little more bombs, and my zero is trying to attack what is possible. More damage. Looks good. Ships are sinking. Okay. Kuantan, here's an airbase, again same situation. No air link, or no rail link, so damaged aircraft cannot leave. And I more or less can disable the British air fleet here. Here are B-17s, and I also will make an invasion. So I will damage the B-17s. Again, they cannot move out of this hex, so I only must damage them. I don't must destroy them, and it's already enough. This is also fighter bomber strike, or strafing strike, against the airbase of Georgetown. Damage a lot of aircraft. These are standard ground attacks. Against ground forces, okay. Kota Buru, here's the airbase. One Buffalo tried to intercept but cannot really do anything. Here is a link for rail link, so the damaged aircraft can be transferred out next turn to Singapore and repair the overtime. But I can destroy 5 or 6 aircraft on the ground, what is good. The only problem is I won't normally use this aircraft or airbase later, so if I damage the airbase too much, I need longer to fix the damage. So yeah, make no sense to throw everything on this base, but enough to disable the enemy aircraft. Only for the first week. After 1 week, normally the Japanese must have the control of the coast and the air bases, and then I can use the local cap. Good. There's also ground attacks against Chinese troops here. You can also attack Hong Kong port, but I don't really think it's necessary. I can better disable here Chinese units to keep the Chinese units near to Canton in a status that they cannot be a threat. So I can focus on Hong Kong. Good. More airfield attacks here. Again, a lot of disabled. All of this aircraft can go to Singapore, so yeah. But roughly speaking, 4 days at least to repair this. This is my 3rd carrier division, going now here for Prince of Wales. But the British, they have a lot of flak. But I get 1 hit on repulse, that is good. With engine damage, this will already slow down. The 2nd hit with flooding, and not more. So 2 hits on repulse. And these 2 hits are already enough to give enough damage that it's heavy damage plus on fire. No. So repulse is crippled, Prince of Wales is still fine. Sinking sounds, so far all allied ships. And if you really believe this kind of successful airstrikes against enemy submarines, I don't know. Even if these are only 60 kilogram bombs. So even if it's a critical hit, I think not more than 10 system damage. Left over. Sometimes the air wings are, well, striking what they want. That was not so successful, but not really necessary, but okay. From Polar Islands, I go here with some Nels, and there's a 1 P-26 in the way, but not strong enough or fast enough to really do much, so I can try to damage a little more B-17s. One of those. Again, these combat reports are always fog of war. Always what you see in the real action in the animation. It's much more true to the, I mean, it's more close to the what happens. This is missing stuff, or too much claimed success, or too little, or it's possible. So I bomb here, again fighter bomber, 60 kilogram bombs on some ships, and they're helping simply to keep the submarines in a bad shape. But I lose here some aircraft to flak. But still, I mean, you can see some of his aircraft really not get damaged. Yeah, but I bombed them a little here, a little there. So if the submarine is not heavily damaged now, then you know this damage was not so successful. So these 2 submarines are maybe still fine. This one is also maybe fine, and this one is also still fine. But this I cannot change. And if this is true or fog of war, who knows? So, second carrier strike against two British heavy units, and now Prince of Wales get a hit. The pulse with magazine explosion is normally the end. One more hit. But, yeah. Heavy damage, and Repulse is already blowing. I mean, Repulse sunk, but I think it correctly would be saying it would be if it's blow up. So the second torpedo hit trigger a magazine explosion, and this, I think, 99% if you have a magazine explosion, the ship is also lost. And Prince of Wales had 5 torpedo hits. I think one was a dud, and there's no fire indication, so the ship would be, I think, still fine, but heavily damaged. So I think this is fine. Both ships are out of action, that's for sure. One is already off the map, and the second one is maybe limping away, but we will see what is the future for this ship. Now it's the British attacking me. These are my local cap for my carrier division here. And I can hold my position. This is now my parachuter attack against the British base here at the border to China, simply to cut the Burma road. First submarine, but no success on both sides here. Missing. Okay, here, second attempt. I get some hits on a Dutch sub, but no heavy damage, so will be survive. This is my attempt to take wake. Normally I take always the wake late, but this time I choose to go day 1 wake, to more or less take out the enemy fighters here, and also take allies submarine base. So if the crippled allied submarines trying to escape east, then wake is no option more. This is now a lot of landings at the Philippines with some losses. I mean, nothing special here. Suppressing fire, of course, this will help always to overcome the enemy defense later. Manado also landing here to take out this potential Dutch Navy search base. It's also a good base to shut down every shipping here in Celebes Sea, if you have AHQ there or something else. Taking here also at Mindanao, the main base for the B-17s. Well, it would not make sense to attack here the airfield so much, but IBA similar. I land here a division to take the base and destroy all the damaged aircraft on the ground. Of course I have here some losses, but I mean, it doesn't matter, it's the invasion. If I lose here 1 or 2% of my troops are unloading, then that is totally fine. A lot of unloading. But this was okay. So overall, okay first turn, nothing over critical crazy successful, but I would think say it's a little safe. No immersing one day. This was a house rule, but you say no, nothing super crazy at day one with too far away. But I take wake, no big deal here. Destroying the wildcat at the ground in the
Today, our
units.
High Command announced that the ever-victorious forces of the Japanese Empire have captured Wake.
So the wake detachment and the base force is destroyed. Everything is fine, and the aircraft are destroyed. A little maybe overkill here, coming with too many units, but it's easier to handle. Manado, maybe a little too light to really take out the Dutch, but the Dutch are always a question of morale. If you can kick them a little, then they always try to run away. This is special operations. I sent here my paratroopers to destroy this forward Dutch Navy search bases, and because there is no real defender, only I think seaplane tender stuff, I can destroy the Doniers on the ground and blow them up more or less. The ships will escape, I think, but I can destroy the aircraft on the ground. And this will make it more complicated or less likely that the Allies get a good Navy search in the next coming days here in this area. Minado is already under siege, so it's less likely that the Allies will have here Navy search out of Manado. There's two other bases I took away, so the next base can be operated for the Dutch is Ambon here in the source, and this is already some distance. It's not impossible, but some distance. Good, here's the base force. I take the base and force the British out of the Hex. So that was turn 1. Again, because this is a mod game with scenario 50, there are some different units, other starting locations, and yeah. Overall, the air losses are roughly killing 2 to 1. 63 to 28 is okay, but nothing crazy, I would say. So for the Japanese, I lost a lot. I mean, I lost in this afternoon attack for my Zeros. They was not part of the first strike. I think the only the morning AM phase, the flag of the Allies is 50% debuff. But in the afternoon, I think there is no debuff more. So this is why the Zeros had this higher casualties. The rest is okay. And for the Allies, it's a bunch of units are destroyed, but not too many. But much more important is, I think the same amount what is destroyed today is also damage on the ground. And if I can take tomorrow the bases with the damaged aircraft, then I have here maybe tomorrow 60, 70 destroyed Allied aircraft again. So we will see. I lost at the end 20 aircraft, pilots dead and 1 is missing. Can happen. Ship sunk, oof, don't believe this too much. Repulse blow up, that for sure. Prince of Wales is heavily damaged, but not sunk. Dragon and Marblehead, I think both are damaged, heavily damaged, but not sunk. How many submarines really sunk, I don't know. And the rest is small fish stuff. Good. I don't know if I really must talk too much about China this early on. Is everything moving first, so I skip this. You can see here at the Philippines that I have a landing force here, here, here. Here is enemy aircraft on the ground I try to destroy. This is more or less a block that I think that the Filipino units cannot reach Manila. At the same time, this unit is heavily damaged. I can more or less cut here Manila to the source and then push for Manila. Here are 2 army groups more or less marching on Clarkfield. Nothing too special. A heavy landing also here to take out the enemy aircraft on the ground. I don't have here now clear. No, here. But the numbers are maybe not correct. I think here are 6, 7, maybe up to 10 B-17 something on this. There's maybe one ship still left in Cebu or more. Who knows what is true? But I think the submarines in Cebu are destroyed. The submarines in Manila, at least, are heavily damaged. My submarines here was successful damaging the Marblehead twice with a torpedo. So you can see consumption of torpedoes already at day 1. This one not. Maybe it was really only the one submarine attacking. No, this one also had a shot. So 2 submarines make each 1 hit on Marblehead. Here was the Dragon had twice attacked, I think. So this submarine at 2 attacks, you can always see consume 1 set. So 1 attack with 4 torpedoes, 1 attack with 2 torpedoes. I also have here submarines blockading more or less Palmbang, because the typical way for allies is to rush to Palmbang, take the oil and run away. So I have here mines and submarines and try to intercept here stuff. The other submarines trying normally to block here is the Surabaya and Batavia area. We will see this in the future. Again, we had no attack on Mersing day 1. I really play this not too crazy, let's say this. So I go to the typical Kota Baru and Kuantan. And if I take this basis, I first allowed to go for Mersing. The allies tried to sneak as battle cruisers or battleship task force here north. I was able to intercept it, but not with Saigon. Was a typical would be a typical torpedo bomber attack. For some reason they don't want to go, so it was not so successful. But my carriers in Kuantan was able to sink at least one of the 2 and cripple the other one. And the rest here is first standard stuff, unloading. Nothing too crazy, nothing too special. And of course tons of logistic, and because this is a mod, you have a lot of other stuff to do. Other ships, other ship types, yeah. But nothing, yeah, to talk about. Wake was successful. I took the base. But we have here stacking limit. So you can see I'm already here, not so good, so I better leave here as soon as possible. I really don't need to take Wake or be active on Wake, not at least now. I must only make sure that the allies are not here. I think I will prepare as soon as possible for tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, to take Guam. This is the next allied base. Could be a safe haven for damaged allied submarines if they try and go east. If they go south, the direction of Surabaya, this I cannot stop. Oh. Okay, keep it short in this way. So now additional information for the ships, because this is a mod, so there's a little different ship production line. So first, these are the carriers, better after time. Some stuff is similar. Up to here, I think it's the same like in the game. A little other configuration of the weapons. You can see you have now here the 10 centimeter, but I had already a discussion about this. So better flag weapons. What is then after this? If you see the numbers, you realize that this is much more expensive. In the normal base game stock 1, the fleet carriers of the Japanese are based on Soryu and have a cost of 63. Here the cost is 90. I think Taiyo is 105. At the end, this game is a Shukaku Kai. Shukaku Kai means improved Shukaku class. So it's not a Taiho class. It's only the Shukaku class carrier, but with the other setup. I think maybe also small. I don't know if the armament is, I think, also better. You can see the armor belt is here 165. I think this is enough to be immune against 8-inch shells. And 65mm deck armor is, I think, at least enough immune against 500-pound bombs. I think 1,000 pounds will still penetrate. And yeah. So you have of course, they also have more load capacity. So you build bigger fleet carriers. The light carrier, and Taiyo is, I think, Taiyo. No, Taiyo is also Shukaku Kai. So there is no real Taiyo class carrier. They have this Shukaku Kai class. It's okay. They are, of course, better, but they are also more expensive. And there was a reason why the Japanese say we better build 10 or 8 Unryu class Soyu carrier basically because they can build them faster. But yeah, okay. Here the Japanese decide they go quality over quantity. And yeah, and the light carriers are also improvement. I think they're now 63, so they've always a little more capacity. They always have better equipment, anti-aircraft equipment and better radar equipment. The endurance, I'm not so sure if it's really better, but yeah. You can also see that this cruise speed is always based on 5. So this whole new carrier design have a cruise speed of 5. So they're all fast carrier. Maybe top speed not really changed, but the cruise speed is simply higher. Good, so this is carriers. Downside, you only have one additional purpose-built escort carrier. That looks, I think, like stock game. No difference. Battleship, there's something else. This is also a big change. First, the Yamato ships are earlier done, I think. I'm not so sure about the price now, but I think they are similar. But I think they're earlier done. But the change for sure is this is now the commissioning is done, and then immediately you start already with air radar and better flak weapons. So the ships can survive, I think. At least they can help you to with a lot more flak power. In this scenario 1, you get this radar, I think, first in April 43. So 1 year earlier you get radar. And again, better flak weapons. It's still not the good setup. You need the next upgrade first, but to really get something out of these battleships. But yeah, I would say it's already better. What is new is Kawachi class battlecruisers. I don't know more how they call this. I don't know what. There was a type name for this. These are, I would call them Kongo Kai class ships. It is more, I mean, of course, it's a new design, but they are very close to a Kongo class battle cruiser. And here they really call them, yeah, here you call them, this is not a battle cruiser, this is a pocket battleship or whatever, I think. But it's more or less the same like a Kongo. You can see the armament belt is the same like a Kongo. The tonnage is similar to a Kongo. This is more or less a Kongo, the same armament. No, only that they don't have 4 twins. Now here they have 3 triplets. Of course, their secondary equipment, radar, torpedoes, better flak weapons, that is better. So it's a modern Kongo style setup. How useful this ship is? Oh, hard to say. Biggest issue, I think, is they coming late. You see, normal build time, they enter in ready in April, May 43. At that time, normally the Allies are already striking back, and this is only a reaction task force. And this ships, I mean, you get again immunity against 8-inch and 500-pound bombs, but not more. Naja, we will see. At least you have a lot of anti-aircraft fire. So this is new. What is also new is the cruiser setup. First, in the stock scenario 1, you have only light cruisers. Here you also will build additional 1, 2, 3, 4 Tone class cruiser. They all on this last design of the Japanese, where they say, okay, we keep all the heavy guns in the front, and the rear of the ship is more or less only seaplanes. This is why you get 5 seaplanes. So this is a true heavy scout cruiser. A lot of firepower, or the firepower of a normal heavy cruiser, and additionally you have 5 scout airplanes. Plus you can hunt for submarines, but I think this is only for self-defense, let's say this. We have a very strong torpedo firepower. You get 6 torpedo tubes each side. That is plus reload on long lens. So yeah, this is for sure the best Japanese heavy cruiser. And the armament is also, it's for sure enough against 6-inch, 8-inch could work, but we will see. Good, so you get 4 of this best Japanese heavy cruisers. And the light cruisers are all the same Yohagi class light cruisers. These are also far in the scenario 1 you get only 1 of this. And in this scenario the Japanese decide this is our new type of light cruiser, build them, many. Because they are simply much better than everything else. They are also fast, they have the range. Of course, they are only protected against enemy 5-inch. So a destroyer cannot really hurt this ship. And this ship can hurt every light cruiser, destroyer, heavy cruiser. Could be possible with 15.5. You can penetrate, I think, 100 millimeter belt. What we will see. At least you get more of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something. Destroyers is also a topic. First, I don't know if you really, I think you get more. I don't really count them, but you can see you get the 13 is always a flag destroyer type, and this is like the normal game. Everything's the same, only that you have higher cruise speed. Here, I don't know. Wait, let me check. Oh, yeah. The problem is here, I don't know why, but if you check this future or this information of a ship, what is not on the map, you don't see the indication if it's a dual purpose gun. You can see it dual purpose, but now you get this star indication. But it is missing in this kind of information screen. I don't know why, but this is game issue. So I really cannot tell you if these are the guns with dual purpose. I think they are not dual purpose. But if you have 200, then normally they must be dual purpose. Okay, let's see this. So you get a lot of first class destroyers and other destroyers, and you get more of these better destroyers. And then you already, I think this is also new. I think in scenario 1 you first start in, I don't know why, I think first at the beginning of 44 you start to build this second class destroyer. This Matsu class destroyer. And also the setup is different. In scenario 1 you will use I think single mount 5-inch, and here you use the standard dual twin mounts. So half the flag firepower than the other destroyers. And this I would say is okay. You get still a cruise speed of 4. This top speed is okay. The range is 4,500 is okay. These are normally second class destroyers. So they fill the line after many destroyers are lost already. Or they can take the high risk jobs, I would say. If you also one torpedo mount with long lens, so you can throw them on the enemy. Let's say this. I would say that is feasible, and you get many of them. I don't know if you get more, but you get many of them. Good. You don't still get any of this. APDs. Yeah, They are always more expensive than these cheap destroyers, and I would also say I better take the cheap destroyers than this kind of ship. This kind of ship is for me, I don't know exactly what I want to do with them. Maybe they're good sub hunters or escort ships, but I think I don't like this setup. See anything? No, I think there's nothing. No. These are only APs. So submarines, I'm not sure, but if I read it correctly, I think you have less submarines here. And also the configuration of the submarines are different, but I really don't care submarines too much because in this scenario or scenario 1, the Japanese submarines are good in 42, but in 43, if the debuff is disabled, the allied sub-hunting abilities are skyrocketing, and submarines are simply not more useful at the time. Good. There's also a change, I think, in escort ships, but I'm not so sure about this, and this is so small fish stuff that I really don't care too much. And don't ask me if there are more tankers or other tankers, I don't care. I really only care normally carriers and destroyers. And in this case, I would maybe also care for cruisers and battleships. Yeah. Good. So far for turn 1, scenario 50 against Rob. Let's see how he will act tomorrow. If normally the most allied players have December 8th, the first active turn. So see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.